Hello, everyone. Chris Guthrie here, host of SellerCast. And in today's episode, I speak with Rob Tierney, who is currently based in Thailand and selling on Amazon. And the conversation we had is fairly laid back, frankly, but I think you'll enjoy the topics that we covered. Also, there's a very strong contingent of people that are based in Thailand and selling on Amazon. So if you're one of those people, please do stop by the show notes, sellercast.com/16, and feel free to post in the comments, and perhaps you'll be able to meet up with Rob as well. So let's go ahead and start the show, and hopefully you enjoy this episode. Hello, everyone. Chris Guthrie here, and today I have with me Rob Tierney, who's currently based in Thailand. How's it going?
Hey, dude. How's it going? Yeah, it's going pretty well. Sitting here in the sun, drinking a juice. So yeah, business as usual in Thailand.
Yeah, is it nice weather there right now?
Yeah, the high season in Phuket, so it's mainly sunny, a little bit of rain. But
okay,
yeah.
And you've been based in that specific area of Thailand for the entire time you've been there? Or?
No. Well, I've been in Asia 6 years in January.
Okay.
I guess 3.5 of those were in China. Then I moved to Chiang Mai for about 2.5 years. And I only just got to Phuket about 3 weeks ago.
So, okay. And so is that going to be your new home base for a longer period of time?
No. Phuket, I'm just here to train. I'm doing Muay Thai at the moment, and the particular area of Phuket is just full of, it's just called Workout Street. There's just gyms and Muay Thai camps, and it's a good place to just to get in shape, I guess. But okay. I won't live in Phuket. If anyone is interested in coming to Thailand, Phuket is a great place to visit, but for internet marketing purposes, not so great.
I hear that pretty much everyone's in Chiang Mai. Is that correct?
Yeah, hordes of people. I got there in 2013, August, and within about a year, I guess the community probably doubled.
Oh wow! Okay.
It's really cheap. Quality of life is great, and it's excellent for networking.
Yeah. And I mean, we're definitely going to talk about your business, of course, but I think that, you're the first person that we've had on that's currently based in Thailand, and that's been traveling in more, for a longer period of time.
Yeah.
What were you doing before you started selling on Amazon? Just to kind of get a bit of a background.
Okay. I guess I started. Well, I've been doing kind of web design for since 1997. And I guess I was working for the man up until about 2007, 2008. I was taking kind of career breaks and stuff. Mm-hmm. And then, let's see, I got to China in 2010. I decided to do Kung Fu. So I was pretty much off the grid for about 7 months or so. And then my money started to run out, so I had to start doing my own online stuff, which started out with Amazon affiliate sniper sites. That was great. I mean, that was bringing in, I think I was pulling in around $1,000 a month. And in China and in Asia, that's plenty to live on. That's fine, But the community wasn't so big. Where I was living in China, most people were either English teachers or rock climbers or tour guides and whatnot. So I started to do some business ventures with some guys online. And one of those turned out to be, he was quite well known in the Amazon community. It all happened very organically, and we started to do information products together. And then he convinced me to go to visit Chiang Mai. It was actually a Fusion Dojo event, like a 5-day seminar. And I just met loads of cool people. And I said, right, that's it. I'm moving here. And that was a really big turning point for my business. I met a lot of bullshit artists, and then but I also met a lot of people who knew what they were talking about. I mean, there's a lot of chancers there, doing all sorts of stuff. But you start to make good connections, and you figure out who where the real value is. And you got to offer value, of course, yourself.
Yeah.
And that kind of, I scaled up. Then I was doing a video production business. That was pretty good. You know, I mean, but again, it's a service industry, so it takes up your time, and you got to, you know, acquire clients. That takes time and effort. And then I think it was the early 2014, a friend of mine in Chiang Mai, he had done the ASM course.
Mm-hmm.
And he was about, I'd say he was about maybe 8 months in, and his numbers were just crazy. And he came to three of us that he trusted and just says, "Here, lads, look, you gotta take a closer look at this." And he basically explained the nuts and bolts, and we had enough, you know, online knowledge to figure out the rest. He didn't handhold us, but he just sat down with us one afternoon and he broke it down. And then I was lucky to have to actually start this whole Amazon process with a good friend of mine in Chiang Mai at the time, a good friend from Canada. So we were able to just bounce ideas off each other. And my friend, I should probably state, he got into the whole supplements kind of area. So he was sourcing all his stuff from the US. He never did anything with China. So me and my buddy in Chiang Mai, we had to figure out the whole Chinese thing ourselves. And that, I guess the fact that I'd lived in China 3.5 years helped, but it was still, you know, learning as we went.
Okay.
Yeah, that's pretty much my main business now, FBA.
Yeah, so I won't say his last name because I know that he likes to, for the most part, not be as vocal in the community. But it's our mutual friend Ben, right? That got you. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right. Just wanted to confirm that.
Yeah.
And so 2014 then. So when was your first product live? And you said you sourced from China, and we can talk about the sourcing challenges or the successes as we go along. But when did your first product go live?
My first product went live. Let's see. I think it was about April. It probably would have been late May. Now, I started probably February with the whole process of researching. But I was ready to pull the trigger on a product in about February, March. About a month or two, I'd say about 6 weeks before that, I was all ready to go with another product. And then just the last minute, it just didn't feel right. And I had I had all the supply, I had the supplier lined up. I had everything designed. And then I just thought to myself, you know, while the competition wasn't very big at the time, I just got this feeling that this product it's too easy to replicate. And now it's a mess. It's an absolute mess. This product. There's so many like I'm seeing now on FBA. It's extremely difficult to find those products that I guess are unique enough that all you're really competing with are old school merchants or whatnot.
Yeah. So
basically, anything that's just really easy to white label, I tend to stay away from now. The more difficult, the better, I think.
Yeah. So your kind of unease really was just based on the, you know what, I think this is too easy. That was the sole thing that made you think, okay, I'm not going to do it.
There was two main sellers at the time, and the margin was extremely good. I mean, I think I was picking it up for $1.20, and the main seller was selling for $25. The shipping was, you know, peanuts. It was so small and light, you could just, you know, DHL it over. It all looked very good on paper, but these, like from $25 a year and a half ago, I guess, it's now there's guys selling it for like $7.50 now, and they're probably making next to nothing. So it's a mess.
Yeah.
So I'm glad I didn't.
So you dodged a bullet on your first one. You potentially could have made that mistake, but you managed to presumably pick something better, right? Your first product.
Yeah, well, still risky. Well? Still risky. Like we've got a little mastermind group now, and they kind of make a joke that I pick the oddest, strangest products. But that seems to be working for me. Where I've got other friends who are sticking with a certain type of niche, and they're building a brand. Where I'm building a brand, but I want to keep it extremely general. So I want to just be under the sort of home and garden type of umbrella, and that, you know, you can pretty much put most things in that category, I guess. Like, you know,
yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I didn't want to pigeonhole myself with a particular like fishing or something, and then oh god, now
Yeah.
I'm fishing master and now I'm selling golf clubs or golf stuff or so
Yeah.
my products are quite strange, but I like those kind of products. That's just and it's the process of just keep digging and digging, and it's not like I initially go and look for those. It's you just find out what are these other people looking at and what else, and then oh my god, and then sometimes I don't even the products I find I didn't even know really existed, and then you're like, oh, I guess there's a market for that, and you
Mhm.
just take it from there.
Interesting. Okay, so then what process do you use to find these? Or is it just now that you're in this unusual space, you just look for something, and if it's like, well, there's more than X number of sellers selling it, well, that's not something I want to do. I mean, is it do you have a specific formula that you use, or is it more of just
Uh,
a intuitive type
it's more intuitive.
method?
It's kind of I use a combination of obviously I'm researching on Amazon, and then I've got tools. I used to use Amazon Seller Tools. They had like
Hmm.
they had a very simple bit of software that just told you like well how did it work? They calculated the BSR and you could see at a glance using star kind of ratings, green and orange stars. So it was very easy. But then I think Jungle Scout now is pretty good. It gives you all the data you need. So I'm able to look at BSR and products and say, okay, yeah, there's something in this, and then obviously I'll calculate shipping and whatnot. But I also like to use. I also like to check on eBay, see what's going on there with the similar products. Taobao is like Chinese Taobao. See if the similar products are selling there, or you might even find other strange things on Taobao using. And that's I need to use Google Translate for that. And
So
sometimes
Taobao, what is it? What's the actual URL? I hadn't heard of
oh,
it
it's
that one
just
before.
Taobao, Taobao.
Mm-hmm.
It's just
.com
yeah,
or .cn?
.com. It's
Okay.
pretty much it's probably twice as big as eBay. Probably ten. Actually, it's
Okay.
probably 10 times bigger. It's the Chinese eBay.
Oh,
Uh,
okay.
so yeah, and I'm pretty much just digging around and just
Do you have a specific BSR range that you shoot for?
um.
Like, you won't source
Well,
any product, you won't target any product
it's all
that's
well the BSR. I don't really worry too much about the BSR because now that I'm using tools like Jungle Scout, it gives you a rough estimate of the monthly. I think it's the net revenue. So obviously the BSR is different for each category. So I guess if it's in sports and stuff, you want your BSR, I don't know, below 2 or 3 thousand or something. Home and garden, you want it in like the low thousands as well. But then again, it also depends on do you want to sell do you want to sell like a higher end product, less of those a day, making some serious return, or do you just want to sell in bulk? Which, I mean, I've products that do both, and as far as I'm concerned, I don't like I've heard people say, oh, I need to make at least $15 or $20 profit, or I'm not interested. But you know, you'd be surprised at some of these little products how much money they can bring in just from sheer volume.
Mhm.
So, so yeah, I mean, just looking on something like Jungle Scout. It just gives you a very quick. It's not obviously these numbers. They're just a rough guide. It's a rough kind of estimation, I
Yeah.
guess.
The other question I had too is in terms of how you're distinguishing your products from your competitors, or because you're going so obscure, maybe you aren't even necessarily worrying about that.
Um, it's. I think packaging is extremely important. To obviously brand your own products. If you can get your logo on it there somehow. I like to put things in nice boxes.
Hmm. So you're never just doing like a poly bag type thing and then just
I have
sending it
products.
on its way.
I have some cheaper products that are just in poly bags, but I have my own. I make sure that my label has my logo and branding on it. These obviously would be easier than some of my other products to copy. Um,
Yeah.
In fact, probably my first product was completely copied by another ASMer. Even the box, it's the exact same. Well, it looks terrible, but it's like they just gave it to somebody on Fiverr. It literally looks like they gave it to somebody on Fiverr and says, "Can you recreate this box?" And it's just shameless, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I'm laughing, and when I laugh, it's more just because of the. It's a similar story I've heard from others. It's somewhat frustrating. Well, it is frustrating.
Yeah,
and it's just kind of like, well,
it's just the way.
it is what it is, I guess.
even their name was quite similar to the name of my particular brand for this product. It's just a joke.
So how are they doing compared to your sales on that one specifically?
They are probably around the same, actually, because they dropped their price drastically, and then I have, of course, had to drop my price, and then they gamed it extremely hard. So they knew what they were doing. So,
Yeah.
I had my day in the sun for quite a while, I guess, and then it was inevitable. I mean, it was quite a strange product, and my friends used to laugh at me. When I started it, they says, "What the hell is that?" And then they were quite surprised when I was making some good money with it. So my point is, you can find what you think is a really unique product, but eventually, I think the tools are starting to get a lot better. Things I keep saying Jungle Scout. There was another one actually. It's like a Jungle Scout clone. What was it called? Unicorn Smasher or something?
Yeah, there's a few different browser extensions, and then I'm involved with the Amma Suite, for example, and there's lots of tools.
So the tools now are making it extremely easy for people to find out what's selling, which I guess is good if you're looking to start out. But it's there's just a lot of copycats out there now.
Yeah. Okay. Well, so let's talk about that. I mean, is it? I don't want to guess keep saying the same thing, but are you really just like, is the only thing you're really doing to try and help prevent copycats is to do these obscure products that are maybe more difficult to source or that are more challenging, or is there something else that you're doing, or is it just a matter of it's inevitable that someone's eventually going to copy you, and so you make your money as you go, and then you just kind of keep doing more products and doing more products?
I think it's inevitable, and I think you just gotta keep releasing products. I mean, you can make a lot of money in this game, and you can live quite well, but then it seems to be you're putting a lot of your money back into your business. So I think you just got to keep feeding the Amazon machine for as long as you can, and then just have a nice catalog of products. And something might be like a rock star for 6 months, and you can just kind of sit back and coast. But eventually, it doesn't happen to everyone, of course, but eventually, some other ASMer will just kind of find it and then just clone you, and that's just the way it is.
Yeah. Are you looking at doing anything else? Like, I guess with this, maybe we'll come into thinking about your long-term plans for the business. I mean, I know you're based in Thailand right now, and before we did our call, you were at the gym and you're there just kind of working out and sounds like having fun. Is it more that the business is here just to kind of serve your lifestyle and that's the primary purpose? Or are you also thinking like, okay, well, how do I really make this something that can last and that I can really continue to grow?
Yeah, I mean, there's kind of spurts of busyness, and then there's spurts of there's not really. I mean, of course, I could be working every day, and I potentially could be earning more money than I am now. But for me, I'm earning plenty to live a really good lifestyle. So for me, my time is extremely important. I right now my focus is obviously it is on my business. I do put a couple of hours in a week. So some days would be maybe 3 or 4 hours. Some days might be just an hour. But like right now, I'm developing 2 new products. But while they are in the production stage, there's not too much I can do. I'm constantly in contact with my suppliers through QQ, and just to get updates. So now I know how long it does take to have a product developed, and usually add about 10 or 15 days because that's just China.
Yeah.
So
How long does it typically take you? Just so people that are listening can kind of compare your numbers to yours.
some products are different. I mean, they all say around 20 to 30 days, but
Yeah.
if you start including, if you start to, add on your own little features, that can it depends on how, it really depends on your supplier too. Some of them, they get it. Like, for instance, my latest product, I sent detailed instructions, and I actually ordered another product, not from Amazon, but from another website. And I says, look, it's going to be similar to this, but just, and then like I said, detailed instructions of how different I want it to be. And I met my supplier. She was at the Canton Fair in October, and she brought the sample with her. And I was just shocked that they just knocked it out of the park, like,
That's
first time.
awesome.
I was like, holy crap. So that um, should be ready to ship before Chinese New Year, which I should remind people can be a death blow to your business if if you miss
Yeah,
that.
February, right? Yeah, February. I always forget when in February.
February 12th, I think, but
Yeah.
late January they just start to shut down. They're in shutdown mode. And you have to remember as well that it's not just your supplier. Well, sometimes it is. If it's a small little, I don't know, spatula or some basic little product, you're okay. But if you're dealing with a product that's got components like, say, a certain type of plug or some other elements, or you might even have printed cards or a nice box or whatever, you have to understand as well that your factory is most likely sourcing from other factories, or if there's
Yeah.
materials or zips involved, they're ordering them from other factories. So it could be something as small as, yeah, we can't get your order ready because this factory is closed a week before Chinese New Year or something. So
Yeah.
while your supplier might be, still open, it's the other suppliers they're relying on that can really mess you up.
Yeah, and I double checked too for people listening. It's February 8th is Chinese New Year. So yeah, definitely make sure.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the 8th. Yeah. So yeah, pretty much right now it would be when you would want to maybe making sure your product's in production before it can get shipped out.
Big time.
And okay, so then let's talk to you about how many products do you have right now? Or if you can give us a rough range, that's
I
fine
have
too.
No, I've got 6 products, and I've got
Okay.
two in production.
Okay, and then of those 6 and the 2 that are in production, how many different suppliers do you have? Are you using one supplier for most of them, or do you have a different supplier for each product type of thing?
I have 3 suppliers,
Okay.
and one supplier does 2 of my products. Another one does another 2, and the rest is does the rest. Yeah.
Okay.
I have a supplier that does kind of like small products for me, so it's kind of handy.
Yeah, and I wanted to ask some more questions about your suppliers, but this is another question too. You don't have to answer, but are you able to share your revenue numbers, monthly revenue, average?
Sure. Net, I would say. Let me see. Average about 18 to 20,000.
Okay.
I reckon.
So
Yeah.
you're making about 18 to 20,000 a month
Mm.
yourself, but then you have your gross is then above that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, well, your earlier story talking about being in China, I believe, is where you said $1,000 a month and you were golden.
Yeah. I mean,
What's
well, you could actually in Chiang Mai they say, or that, and I've lived there. You could live on even less than 1,000 a month in Chiang Mai. I mean, it's silly.
yeah.
You could actually have an apartment for like $100 a month, a nice little apartment. You know.
Yeah. So all the people that when you hear people say, "Oh, that'd be nice if I could, start use my online business or move to another country and run it from there," you say, "Well, you can, and you probably just don't even realize it potentially."
Yeah, and it's kind of like, even when you start earning more money, I don't know. You still, I don't know. I mean, it's not like I'm in like yachts and all this kind of crap. It's a lot of a lot of my money goes back into my business, and
Yeah.
obviously I can take more. I like to travel too, so I can take a few more trips.
Yeah.
Like I visited quite a few places this year, and it just means that you don't have to worry too much about, you know, always, oh well, I can't do this and I can't do that. So it does, obviously, if you've got a little bit more money in the bank, you can do more stuff. But yeah, no, I
Yeah.
mean, I'm having as much fun now as I did back when I was earning like grand, really. You know?
Yeah. And you said before, like an hour to 4 hours a day is roughly what you're doing, right? So like an average,
Well, see, that's the thing. It's hard to quantify because
you might just hop on for a little bit
because
and then,
now that you have like smartphones and things, like for instance,
yeah.
I'm in the gym, right? And let's say I do a set of something. I'll take a 1 minute, 2 minute rest. I can just pop over to my phone, check an email or a
Mm.
QQ or a message, and it might be my supplier going, "Oh, I can't blah de blah," and so I'll just hop onto Dropbox, get a phone number, and boom. That could take 2, 3 minutes, or you could just be at breakfast in the morning. You could do 5 minutes. So, or you could just be traveling, and so yourself. It's not like, okay, I'm going to sit down at a desk now and I'm going to put 1 hour's work in. I like to do that too when I'm busy. If I have to design, I like to design my own boxes, logos, and because I'm from a graphic design background. Now, in that
Mhm.
I need to have my laptop, I need a quiet time, and I need to focus. But a lot of work can just be done while sitting. You could even be sitting on the toilet and get some work done. I mean, it's great, or long bus journeys. As long as you've got like a good data connection, you can get work done. So it can be broken up into parts, and I'm sure every other online worker here is the same. You can get little bits of work done here and there.
Yeah, yeah. I'm just always curious to see when I talk to different sellers what they're doing, and then if it differs with other people that I'm talking about, and then just to see what people are doing as best practices, so that especially people that are listening to can apply that to their own business. Do you have anyone that's helping you out on your team, or is it just you right now?
Oh, it's just me. I have
Okay.
like, I have a mastermind group of close
Yeah.
friends, and we do share some quality information with each other. So if I find
Yeah.
something that's like really working, or if I need help with a particular thing, I know they're there, and it's an excellent resource.
I found that just in across any industry, it doesn't matter if it's Amazon or whatever, that the best mastermind groups seem to be where you really you individually try and add as much value to the group as possible, sort of like a give first rather than trying to really just take, and
Yeah.
sounds like that's what you have right
Well,
now,
no,
is
no.
that
This is
you all try to give.
this isn't like one of these big
Yeah, yeah, it's a
couple
small
hundred.
group, right?
There's only six of us,
Yeah,
so
yeah, yeah, exactly. Yep.
we
That's great.
it's just like, it's more like friends. We just help each other out.
Cool.
I did have a guy at a DC event just, hey, can I join your mastermind group? And I didn't really even know this guy, and I didn't want to be rude, but it's kind of like, well, not really, no, because it's more of a personal, close friends that you trust, you know. So it's that, like, I am part of other mastermind groups too, and they can be helpful, but I guess I'd value the smaller group more.
Sorry, when you said DC, that's like Dynamite Circle, right?
Yeah,
Tropical MBA, those guys.
yeah, yeah.
Okay, cool. We're actually somewhat close to our end here, but I really enjoyed just generally talking to you about what it is you're doing in your business and trying to kind of bounce back and forth. I wanted to talk a little bit more about your sourcing aspect, and then maybe we'll wrap up here.
Hmm.
Are you doing What are you doing for sourcing? You've already mentioned a few different sites that I hadn't heard of or that I hadn't heard of recently. Are you using Alibaba primarily, or are you doing other sources?
Am I using? Sorry, what was that?
Alibaba?
Yeah, honestly, Alibaba is pretty much where I found most of my suppliers,
Mhm.
and I don't know. I mean, well, once you get stuck in, you can kind of figure out who the chancers are. Like, there is a lot of middlemen on Alibaba, but
Yeah.
from talking to them, and I throw in a little bit of Chinese, and they're kind of impressed by that. And I actually I like to get them off. If the numbers coming back for the quotes are good and I get a good feeling, I like to get them off Alibaba, and I get their QQ. which is you know what QQ is?
Yes, I'm familiar.
Okay, so just anyone who's not, it's just Chinese MSN, I guess.
Hmm.
And they're a lot easier. It's a lot easier to stay in touch with suppliers through QQ. Skype too, but they tend to have their QQ on all the time.
Yeah.
So and
Okay.
it's a lot better for file sharing and that like screen like it just works really well. And I think they kind of take you a bit more seriously when they see, oh, you've got a QQ. So
Yeah.
yeah, mostly using Alibaba, and then
Okay.
of course I use my inspection team, and they're based in Shenzhen.
Oh,
Um,
okay. How did you find your inspection team? Would you also find them through China or through a friend referral or something else?
I I think it was a friend referred me. I used to use a crowd called AQF Quality
Hmm.
Control, and they were charging about $300 per inspection, which I thought was pretty good. And then somebody recommended Topwin to me, and because I'd used AQF a few times, Topwin were a bit cheaper. And I
Top
says,
win or top wind?
Topwin. If you go to
Okay.
my, are you? I don't know. Do I need to say,
I'll
or
link.
you can link
No,
it?
you
Yeah.
can. Yeah, you can link. Yeah.
All right. Well, if you can stick a link uh, to my Facebook group, and there is a special offer there for group members. Like Top Wind charge for I usually get what's called a pre-shipment inspection, which is like generally I will get a sample sent to me. You know, I'll say, all right, send me your stuff, and then I'll open it up. I'll try it out and go, okay, this seems pretty good, uh, and I'll pull the trigger, and they will, they'll start the order process. Now, when the order is finished, you can take a chance and you can say, okay, stick it on a boat and roll the dice. But pre-order shipment basically is they send an agent to the factory, and he goes and inspects usually about 15-20% of the total order, which I think is awesome. Uh, they'll find things like, I guess, if loose screws or there's dents, scratches, the
Yeah.
logos smudged, all that kind of stuff. I mean, it really has saved me in the past. I had my very first product, my very first shipment. The logo was it just looked like a blob. So I just says, no, I'm not paying for that. They did it again, and I had to send the inspector in again, and they got it right the second time. So I never, especially with a new shipment, I never send anything out until it's been inspected.
So after you've worked with your suppliers for a while, then maybe the first 2 or 3 shipments you stop
Mhm.
doing it, or do you kind of spot check them even down
It
the line as well?
it depends. If it's a simple enough product, usually one or two inspections will do. But if it's anything to do with electronics, I'd actually do two inspections.
Okay.
I would do you could do what's called God, it's like they've got about 5 different types of inspections on their site. They've got one where they go in before the production has even started, and they actually just check out all the components just to make sure everything is decent.
Yeah.
Then you do your pre shipment inspection,
Yeah.
because electronics have been electronics just fail. It's just a fact, and that could be also due to transit. I've seen videos of people chucking things on like DHL, just throwing things into trucks to make sure everything's
Yeah.
up, but yeah, very important.
Yeah. And then one final question, actually, and longtime listeners will know it's something that I generally try and ask, but I'm always just curious to see what people are doing differently because then people can take everyone they've listened to and then apply it to their business in different ways, or at least test it. So you have 2 products that you said that are in process right now; they're in development.
Hmm.
What are you planning to do to launch those 2 products? Like, what is the strategy you're going to implement?
Okay. Well, actually, one product I actually had sent to my inspectors just to inspect it, and that, funny enough, didn't work, and a button fell off. So I might have to walk away from that one, or if they can send a decent one. But once that's ready to go, and I get it on a ship, and it eventually gets to Amazon, to promote them, I guess for me it's obviously I want to have my listing as tight as possible. Um, I want good copy. I want good pictures, and then I will use some of the review services out there, like most ASMers or FBAers are doing now.
Yeah.
So I will offer probably deep discounts, and yeah, slowly but surely you'll see your ranking increase. I mean, there's
deep discount for reviews, then turn on some PPC, and then just kind of work from there.
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
Now, if you've chosen the right product and there's not too much competition, it doesn't take too long. But you might get unlucky. You might choose a product that might be on a ship, and then all of a sudden it's just all these other guys just popping up. And it's happened to friends of mine, and it's extremely frustrating. The only thing you can really do in that circumstance is just drop your price. You got to play with the price as well. I find the price is a funny thing. Sometimes you can increase your price and sales will go up. I've seen this happen. So yeah, I tend to mess around with the price for the first few months, and then just see which really works. I've noticed other sellers that their prices just haven't changed. A lot of these are merchants, though, so old school, I guess. That's their price.
Okay. Well, cool. I think that wraps up maybe most of the questions I want to ask you. I mean, it's just a lot of times we're talking about similar topics, but everyone has a different way to do it, and especially when you're in your case, you're based in Thailand, and you're the first person that we've had on that's in that case. I wanted to see how things vary or if they don't, and so that's hopefully people enjoyed listening so far. And Rob, thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah, no worries. And I just remind you as well, I don't think I mentioned, if you do sign up to the group, you can get, I think it's $20 off the Top Win inspection.
Okay. I'll include a link to your Facebook group post about that.
Yeah.
So we'll put that in the show notes. So
cool. Well, yeah, cheers, Chris. And
awesome.
I'll let you get some sleep, because I think it's probably a bit late there now, yeah?
Yeah, it's a different time zone, of course, when we're doing these recordings. But you know what? Whatever we can do to get some value across for people who are listening. So Thanks again, Rob, for coming on, and have a great rest of your afternoon.
Yeah, you too. And make sure you don't miss the McGregor fight.
All right.
I'm not sure if you're a UFC fan or not, but
I watch some UFC every now and then.
Yeah, it's going to be a good one. Okay, take it easy.
Right, thanks, Rob.
All the best. Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, and that was the episode with Rob. And actually, I did take his advice to watch that fight with Conor McGregor, and wow, that was a very fast one. So, in any case, hopefully you enjoyed this episode. And I've known Rob for quite some time, and he's a very early user of SalesBacker, which he uses to help get more product reviews. So again, if you'd like to check that out, you can go to sellercast.com/now to get started using SalesBacker. But also, if you want to come back to the show notes, you can go to sellercast.com/16. And especially if you're currently based in Thailand and selling, I'd love to hear from you as well. And perhaps you can meet up with Rob in the comments. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you in the next episode.